Gentlemen and ladies, there's this issue with judges acting like they are gods, acting like they're in control. I don't like Trump. Everybody and their grandmama know I don't like Trump. It has nothing to do with politics. I could care less if he's a Republican, a Democrat, or whatever that junk is. I could care less. I don't like Trump because of his business, how he does business. He's not a very good business person. Okay, that's why I don't like him since the time I was 15. I haven't liked Trump because he's a billionaire and he had to file bankruptcy for his billion-dollar corporation. And I couldn't understand how a billion-dollar corporation could go bankrupt. It didn't make any sense. You lose, okay, $100,000. You got to do something different. Okay, you lose 300. Oh, you got to really do something different. You lose 400. Man, got to go get some intervention. So that's why I didn't like him. And to this day, he was $1.8 billion in debt when he became president. 1.8 billion. Not to mention the lawsuits. Okay, he's not a good manager of money. And his tax people are not the best. That's why. But let's get to this. Because right now, he's getting some act right with the judiciary. And I like that. I'll give him his credit for that because I've been waiting for it. I told y'all it was coming. That's why I called and told all of y'all on video. I said this call goes out to every one of y'all. I said this is the year of the lawsuit. Why? Because of what they put him through. They had him thinking that there's a possibility he could have went to jail. Can't do it now. He's been pardoned by the courts. You do realize dismissal with prejudice? He's been pardoned by the court. Even though he was sentenced, his sentence was suspended. They can't unsuspend it. His sentence was suspended. He's not even on probation. He ain't even got to worry about that. You feel me? That's why. All right, on March 2nd, 1895, you're going all the way back there? You better believe I'm going, y'all going to go back here too. Chapter 177, 28 Stat 635 is part of the statutes at large. It indeed is a significant piece of legislation concerning judicial accountability. I told y'all, this is the year of the act right. Okay, judges seem to be acting out like they stupid. So now you guys have to go and find the acts that put them in their place. Since they all want to threaten you and tell you what you gonna do and what you ain't gonna do and how you gonna do and you ain't gonna do, well now you about to tell them what they ain't gonna do and what they had better do. You know what I'm saying? Then everybody can go do. You know what I mean? And the government's record keeping. It includes the statute at large, ensuring preservation of its exact language is exact, serving as a critical legal reference for scholars, practitioners, and policymakers alike. Key points. Judicial accountability statute provides a fundamental authority for ensuring transparency in judicial proceedings. It emphasizes the necessity of holding judicial processes accountable to public standards, reinforcing trust in the judicial system. That's why they keep talking about the public perception of the judiciary. Then public access and transparency. That's what that act did. Citing statutes when referencing judicial accountability laws. Now watch this. Wake up. What other statutes at large address accountability for judicial officials and other public officials with reference to violating the rights of any member of the public? Question mark. New paragraph. Stop listening. TikTok. Several statutes at large. Several. Civil Rights Act of 1866, my favorite. That's what we're going to be using. We're going to go back there. If Trump can go back to the 1700s, we can go back to the 1800s. Now, I don't like the Ku Klux Klan Act, because, Ku Klux Klan Act, that's that 1983. I ain't ever going to do it on 1983. I'm doing an 1866. Now, let's continue. The Posse Comitatus Act. Posse Comitatus? Yeah, summary, the statute limits the use of federal military forces in civilian law enforcement. Well, ain't that what they, man, ain't that what they did on March 9th, 1933? Civil Rights Act of 1950. There was a Civil Rights Act of 1957. Nobody told us. The act was the first civil rights legislation passed since the Reconstruction days, and it established civil rights division within the Department of Justice, the one that Trump said he can interfere with. No, he cannot. And empowered federal prosecutors to obtain court injunctions against interference with voting rights. That's just voting rights. We want more than voting rights. Okay, hold on. Made it possible to hold public officials accountable for obstructing voting and civil other rights and civil liberties, civil freedoms. Okay, we want this one. I care about this one. Okay, copy. Civil Rights Act of 1964, don't care. Voting Rights Act, don't care. Foreign Corruptions Practices Act, while primarily aimed at combating bribery of foreign officials, this act also ensured accountability of U.S. officials and businesses in international dealings. They gotten rid of it already. Ethical government, they gotten rid of that already. Civil Rights Remedies Equalization Act of 1986. This so-called amendment to the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 for inmates ensures that individuals have the right to sue for violation of their rights under federally funded programs. Religious Freedoms Restorations Act, don't care. Common themes of accountability. Now, watch this. Wake up. This particular Civil Rights Act, you highlighted voting, but I know that this Civil Rights Act also highlighted other specific freedoms for protecting civil liberties. What are they? Question mark. New paragraph. Stop listening. The Civil Rights Act of 1957 was primarily known for focusing on voting. That's because that's what they wanted you to focus on. Also addressing civil liberties and protections. The act was a pivotal step in advancing civil rights, particularly in areas where individuals face systematic discrimination. I don't want just a discrimination. You want to focus on civil rights as if it's a person of color thing, and it's not. All right, so significance and to institutionalize the federal government's role in safeguarding civil liberties, providing an avenue for individuals to report violations and seek justice, creating a civil rights commission. Really? An act established the United States Commission on Civil Rights, an independent, bipartisan agency taken up tasked with investigating, making recommendations. Significance: the commission was instrumental in uncovering systematic civil rights abuses, whatever, including racial segregation and discrimination beyond voting, such as housing, education, and public accommodations, whatever. Nothing has ever been done. Nothing has ever been corrected. Yes, they put a band-aid on it and then they let the floodwaters just gush on in. Protection against intimidation and coercion. The act made it a federal crime to intimidate, threaten, or coerce individuals attempting to exercise their civil liberties. Okay, that's why we're doing this. All right, I'm gonna give y'all the poll. We gonna let y'all have the poll, and y'all can go on with this research right here. But, ladies and gentlemen, find the other laws that help y'all get some act right. Okay, and get y'all some act right against these officials. Okay. All right. Speak to y'all later. Gotta go. Arrivederci. Sayonara. Bye bye.